Hi everyone, concerned Connoquenessing resident Heather here. By now you probably think of me as that really weird sewer lady who just floods your feed with posts about dirt and PA codes and permits. But I realize I've been throwing a lot of data at you without explaining who I am and why I've spent every spare minute of the last 2 months digging into this. So full disclosure, I have autism and ADHD. Why does that matter? Because for me, my brain is wired a little differently. When I see a problem that doesn't make sense, I physically cannot walk away from it. I am like a dog with a bone. I can't just let it go or trust the process. I do most of these scripted because these videos would end up being closer to 10 minutes or longer if I was left to my own devices. But if there is a missing piece of the puzzle, my brain will not let me rest until I find it. Sometimes a curse, but in this case, it might be a blessing for us all. I'm not an engineer. Big asterisk. I'm not an engineer, but I do have a specific set of skills that turn out to be perfect for this mess. I spent 14 years working in tech support and doing programming for an alarm company. My entire career was built on logic. If something is programmed wrong, the system fails. You have to debug it line by line until you find the error or comb through a manual to find the answer. For the last 3 years, I've been in accounting. Now I know how to spot when the numbers on an invoice don't match the reality of the work. For me, this all started at the end of October when my next door neighbor mentioned the $63 million price tag. I had never even heard. I'd seen the signs. I was very uneducated, like I feel like a lot of us are. But I asked the one simple, innocent question: are there alternatives to the sewer? And the answers that I get from the officials who wrote our Act 537 plan was basically, there are no alternatives. The soil's failed, it's sewer or nothing. And my tech support brain immediately went into problem-solving mode. I thought, that's statistically impossible. In an entire township, every single backyard is broken? So when I started pulling that thread, let me tell you, that sweater unraveled. And I started asking, what are the alternatives? Why were those options not explored? Why are we forcing everyone? Every time I ask, what about this? I would go home and research for a couple of hours. I started calling SEOs in other counties. I reached out to the DEP directly and was told to leave them alone effectively. I've sent emails left and right. I've spoken to neighbors who have had problems. And most importantly to me, I built my own database of information. And here's the part that really keeps me up at night. Every time I turn over a rock, I find another, aha, we could have done it this way. I found the EcoFlow systems working for 20 years. I found the section of code that allows the town to do on-lot management. I found the cheaper alternatives and I found the workarounds. And every single time I had this moment of shock, like, how did we miss this? How did the experts miss this? It was right there in black and white. So why am I doing this? Why am I filling out right to know requests and creating graphics and videos every night after work? Because I'm a nerd. And this is a problem that just won't solve itself. So I've got the bone now, and I'm not letting it go until we get a solution that actually makes sense. I'm Heather. It's nice to meet you, neighbors.